Now the next thing we have is median. Median is the central value of the data if it is arranged in the ascending or descending order. This is not of, this is or, ascending or descending order. So what does this mean? This means that the median does not have anything to do with what values do we have. If the data is arranged in the ascending or the descending order, the middle term, the central term is the median of it. Okay, so this means that there is any data that is given. To calculate the median, we just have to find the central term if it is arranged in the ascending or the descending order, right? If it is not arranged in the ascending or the descending order, then the data will not make any sense. Like this is the data, right? So if this is the data, to find the central term, what do? We calculate the number of terms. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the fifth term is the median. So the fifth term over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 9. But actually if you see, 9 is the largest number, right? So it should come at the end. So the median should be is another, we have to find the central tendency, right? So we're finding central tendencies of the numbers. So central tendencies, this median should also lie somewhere at the center of the numbers, right? But if it is not, that means that we are making a mistake. So what mistake are we making? This data is not arranged in the ascending or descending order. Once it is arranged in the ascending or the descending order, what will happen is when we calculate the middle term, we will get somewhere in the middle of the data, right? So that is what median is. Now, what are the formulas to calculate median? There are two formulas for different kinds of data again, for odd number of data and for even number of data. Now this is again ungrouped data. You all know what ungrouped data is, right? Because we've done mean and I've explained you what grouped and ungrouped data are. This is an ungrouped data. So to calculate the mean for an ungrouped data, what do? This has ungrouped, this is an ungrouped data. So for this, what do we do is that we first of all arrange this in ascending or descending order and then apply the following formulas. What are the formulas? The formula is for odd. For odd, it is n plus 1 by 2. N plus 1 by 2th term. So that means n is the total number of observations. Okay. So n plus 1 by 2, that means if the total number of observations are odd, that means in this case the total number of observations are 9. So n plus 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So fifth term would be the median. And for even, what do? For even observations, for even data or for even observations, it is n by 2 plus n by 2th term, n by 2th term plus n by 2 plus 1th term, and all of this divided by 2. What does this mean? This means that if the data is even. So if the data is even, how do we find the middle term? If there are 10 terms, then there is no middle term to it, right? There is a fifth and the sixth term that lies in the middle. So what do we do for that is that we calculate the fifth term and the sixth term. We see what is the fifth term and what is the sixth term and we divide them by 2, or we take the average of both of them. So this is n by 2. So now assume that the number of observations are 10. So this is n by 2. So 10 by 2 is 5, right? And n by 2 plus 1, that is 10 by 2, that is 5 plus 1, that is 6. So the fifth term and the sixth term divided by 2. This is how we calculate median for even numbers, even number of data, right? Now I will explain you by both of these examples how it is done, okay? So first of all, we have this. Now arranging it in ascending order, what do is, I write 0, 2, 0 done, 2 done, then I have 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, okay. Then I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 and 9, okay. So this is an easy data. So this has all the numbers from 0, -1, it has all the numbers from 0 to 9. So this is arranged in the ascending order, right? So how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if there are 9 numbers, the numbers are odd. So how do we calculate? It is median is n plus 1 divided by 2 this term, right? So n is 9. That means for over here n plus 1 by 2th term, which is equal to 10 by 2, that is equal to 5th term, right? Now what is the 5th term? 5th term is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is this. 5 is the median of this data. Simple enough, right? Now what do I do for this one is, first of all, I'm going to erase this because this is all the space I have, and I'm going to use this to solve the next question. So for this, what do I do is, I'll again arrange this into ascending order. So for that, what do I do? We have 0. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just arrange this one in not in the ascending order but in the descending order. Okay, so we have 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, and we have 3 once and twice. Now 3 and 3 done, and we have 4 and we have 2 thrice. Oh, this is 2, 2 and 2, okay, and then we have 1 once and 0 once, okay, and 0 and 1 are also done. So all of the numbers are done. Now what do we do is, first of all, what do? We calculate how many number of observations do we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So there are 10 observations, right? So what do I do from here is that now I know that the number of observations are even. So for even, this is the formula. That is n by 2 to n by 2, that is 10 by 2. I'm not writing the formula again, I'm just writing what does that mean in this data. So this is number of observations are 10. So that is 10 by 2 a term, okay, plus n by 2 plus 1, that is 10 by 2 plus 1 this term, this whole divided by 2. This is what it means, right? So 10 by 2 is 5th term plus 10 by 2 plus 1, this is 6th term divided by 2. So this is 5th term plus 6th term divided by 2, right? So 5th term and 6th term, what are the 5th term and 6th term? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th term is 3 and the 6th term is 2. So the data means 3 plus 2 divided by 2, which is equal to 5 by 2, which is equal to 2.5. So the median of this data is 2.5. Simple enough. Okay. So now there is one more thing that occurs in this chapter, median, are the quartiles. What are quartiles? Quartiles are the values that divide the data in 4 equal parts, right? Now this is a data. If we have to divide them in 4 equal parts, how do we do it? That is done by quartiles. Okay. Now there are a few formulas for quartiles also, for even and odd data. So there are 3 types of quartiles, that is lower quartile, upper quartile and interquartile range, right? If we apply cuts at 3 points, then only the data will be divided into 4 parts, right? There is a lower quartile, then there is an upper quartile, and then there is one quartile in the middle. So that is upper quartile, lower quartile and the interquartile range. Okay. So what is lower quartile? Lower quartile is, let's say this is denoted as Q1. Okay. So this Q1 is equal to, for even and for odd again. Okay. So for odd, first of all, or I should say for even, first of all, this is equal to n by 4th term. For even, the lower quartile is n plus 4th term, n by 4th term. And for odd, it is equal to n plus 1 by 4th term. Okay, this is the lower quartile. Now the upper quartile, which is denoted by Q3, is for even, it is equal to 3n by 4th term. And for odd, it is, what would this be? If you're looking over there, look here and tell me what would this be. This would be 3 into n plus 1 divided by 4th term. Right? So this is the upper and the lower quartile for even and odd numbers. Now what is interquartile range? Interquartile range is simply Q3 minus Q1, which is denoted by Q2. Okay, and the semi-quartile range is Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So these are what quartiles are and the formulas for them, and we will be covering them in a few questions. In this questions, apply, do me one favor and apply quartiles in these questions itself. Find the lower quartile, upper quartile for and the interquartile range and the semi-quartile range for these two questions by our own. This is very simple and very easy to do.